All right, it is that time. Let's go ahead and get this webinar started. Well, today's webinar, it's going to be on psychometrics. Not a term you hear every day, but it is a term that's extremely important to certifications and when dealing with industry standards and really just sharing and learning the level of program that you're going to be signing up with. And it's something that's extremely critical that people don't talk enough about. And we're going to talk about that today and go through a few other topics. If you don't know me, my name is Ted Stewart. I am the Program Development and Compliance Manager here at exida. I also help run the CFSE program. Quick background, I guess, about myself. I started working with Lockheed Martin in missiles and fire control in Orlando, Florida. I shifted over to their sister company, Harris Corporation. I worked for a group called Wireless Products. They were a small niche market within Harris. I was responsible for 14 different classified products that could all locate and track people. So a lot of fun stuff, but not so fun when you go home and you talk to your wife and she asks you, "Hey, what'd you do today?" You're like, "Well, I actually can't tell you." So fast forward today, I'm now with exida. I've been with exida for a little over 7 years. It's been awesome. I'm responsible for a lot of those industry standards that some people use to fall asleep to. And when I'm not working at exida, I love actually cycling and working on home renovation projects. These are all the standards, sorry, that we deal with here. So exida, we are a global company. We have offices around the world. Every year we have a little exida triangle that pops up on the map. Whether it's in Israel, we just have Sam Holden now runs our exida Australia. So kudos to him. Thank you so much. And like I said, we have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of new members joining the team. We're working on some other offices currently, and those will be acknowledged once they're public information. So yeah, it's fun. We're man, we're going really really fast. It's really exciting. But we are a and the reason for that, like I said, is it's because we're a customer focused company, and we're really the only company that encompasses that complete life cycle. Whether you're someone that deals with functional safety, you're someone that deals with cybersecurity, and that alone really makes us unique. And the reason we can do that is because why we are a niche market. We don't stretch too far outside of what we know we're experts on, and that allows us to really raise the bar and keep increasing that level of safety or security. How do we measure success? Well, many people don't realize we are an employee-owned company. We're private. However, we all have uh, incentives to become a better company, right? Because you can see 91% are the employees within exida. We own the company. Yeah, some own larger shares than others. It's whatever you're willing to do. But we do have over 100 global experts. We've done over 1,000 certification assessment projects, and we've modeled well over 500,000 CIFs. And I think this statistic is actually from closer to the end of 2018. So these numbers have far increased from this statistic. That's something I should probably update. A couple quick slides here, and then we'll get to today's presentation. But quickly about Excellentia, it has become the widely used global tool in the industry. And really, my only reason for putting this slide up is really just to thank you for everybody that has given us feedback to improve these tools. We're always updating things. And that's another thing that I'm going to lead to on today's webinar is really just I'm going to there's a thank you slide on today's because, with the CFSE program and the way it's increased and grown, it's only because we get the comments back and we take those to heart, and we really are enhancing this program. And at the end of the presentation, I'm actually going to talk briefly, as much as I can, about all the new things that are coming with the CFSE program in 2020, and it's awesome. It's something I've been waiting for a while. So Excellentia, it is a module-based tool. Every phase of that project that you're working on currently, no matter where you are in your functional safety or cybersecurity lifecycle, there is a module that will actually help you and walk you through it. And so I think that's one of the key pieces that Excellentia Suite is able to accomplish, and why so many people like it. It makes sense. Another thing that just makes sense is when you're dealing with a certification agency, Sometimes it gets a bad taste in your mouth. But for us, how we get around that and how we're able to accomplish some of the hurdles that others are unable to is because we publish everything. So many people are worried about losing their how they do things, or worry about uh, losing the, hey, this is our industry secret. This is, people have to come to us because we have the keys. Well, actually, we hand the keys out. We actually make copies of them for you, and that's what we do when we publish these books. We kind of tell you all of our secrets, because it's not that we're afraid to lose business. It's that the faster that you can learn this stuff, right? Like functional safety has been light years over the last decade. Cybersecurity is starting to ramp up as far as the knowledge base, but the faster we can teach you, the faster we can start moving on to the next thing of safety, and really keep pushing and stretching and seeing how far we can go and seeing how safe we can make people and secure as well. And that's like today's webinar, right? We do this every single week. As far as the statistics are concerned, yes, we have surpassed and become the global leader for certifications in functional safety, the same in cybersecurity. So we are really doing a good job, and that's because people trust us, and this is all we do. Let's go into today's topic, and I'll try and slow down. I get excited, I talk fast, and that is something I'm working on. But psychometrics, this is just another reason why the program, the functional safety program, for personnel has taken off. The reason why it has become that gold standard, and I should have actually put cybersecurity on here as well. I did my description of the abstract, but I should have said CFSE and CACE, and that's the cybersecurity side of our program. But yeah, we're going to go through and we're going to talk about the different programs out there, share with you the psychometrics behind the scenes that goes on that people don't talk about, and then I'll tell you about the 2020 initiatives for this year, which are really exciting. Let's get started here. So personnel competency, right? We've probably have seen this slide before. Yeah, there are some new people here. Good. Yeah, there are some new people, so I'll go through here. I don't have to go too in depth, but really, there's a lot of programs out there. There's a lot of things that you can choose from. And the main thing when you talk about a certificate and a certification is you want to look at what level of effort are you willing to put into a program to get that title, right? And then what are you trying to actually achieve out of it? Are you trying to become an expert or a mentor, or do you need to get enough information to be dangerous? Something like a certificate program, right? So a certificate program that you can see that blue circle, those programs are basically you take a training and you pass an exam based off that training. Okay, that's a certificate. So anytime that they say that training is mandatory to take that exam, you're looking at a certificate program more than likely. That's just an easy way to figure out what level of accolade you're actually receiving. If you're looking for something where training is not required, you're looking for an exam that's based off of your industry knowledge plus industry standards, then that's the CFSE and CACE. And actually, there's a handful of you on this webinar now, so thank you. That's the reason. Those people I look at as the mentors or the leaders in our industry. So if that's like what you're looking for, then that's the program. If you're not, then maybe a certificate program is right for you. You can go back. This webinar is going to be recorded, so you can come and check out the differences on your own time, but you can briefly just scan and know that what I said about the mastery and the mentorship is really what a certification is all about, regardless of what the title is called. Because some certificate programs, they'll call you an expert. In reality, it's a person that took a training and they just passed an exam after that training. I don't know if you're an expert. Expert is a loosely defined word in this industry. Same thing with engineer. They'll call people, there's all kinds of terms where people call you an engineer, and really, do you have the degree or don't you? So there's a lot of question marks there, we'll say. Where you fit in, it's kind of what we were just talking about. Normally, people will start with a certificate program. We have a handful at Exida. There's other industry or other companies as well that have their own. Say some certificate programs call you an expert if that's what you're looking for. But in reality, if you are trying to be a true leader or mentor in the industry, that's when you want to look at the certifications. That's something. If you have functional safety expert or something in your name as the title at your company, you might want to look at a certification because anyone can ultimately do a certificate program. I'll kind of explain the 3 different tiers, and then we'll jump right into the psychometrics because I needed to build a small foundation as to why the psychometrics matter, and that was the reasoning why I kind of wanted to throw these quick slides in here. So let's talk about each one of these tiers. The first one, if you kind of build it up with level of competency, you start at the entry one with the exida functional safety practitioner. We also have a cybersecurity practitioner. TV has a program. ISA has a program. A lot of people have programs. And if you're looking just to get some good material and get an accolade saying that you've passed the training for that material, this is perfect. If you're looking to just make sure that you understand concepts and principles and you understood the material, and maybe you're working on a current project and you're not the lead, but you still need to be involved, these are awesome. This is exactly what you probably want to be looking into your next decision with, well, how do I know what certificate programs are and what's involved? Well, look at their website. Look what is going to be covered in that training material. I have my own sheet that shows the differences between certificate programs. Even if that's something of interest to you, send me a quick email, and I can share with you the differences even in a certificate program, in my own opinion, right? Because right now this is my opinion, and I do the best that I can every day. So the next one you're looking at, so TV came out with a program called an FS Expert. Essentially, it's a certificate program as well. However, to be their expert, I believe you have to get someone to sign off that they say you're an expert. It's not based off on an exam. It's based off of their knowledge about you, and if they feel you should be an expert in the industry. But that would be another level up because there's no other certificate programs, right? It's a certificate program, but there's no others that actually will call you an expert based on their knowledge of you. The CFSE CFSP program, this is actually not based off of any training. There's no training required. Like I said, it's where you become that mentor, that upper competency levels. This is what most people are trying to achieve for their career. This is when you are looked upon as that leader or that mentor. And whether it's in functional safety or cybersecurity, this is where it is. And this is when I'm going to start talking about why these programs matter and what really differentiates and how we can say that this is the gold standard and why we are recognized as that. And that's when you start getting into this thing called psychometrics. It's one of many variables that we have to go through behind the scenes that a lot of people just don't realize. And so psychometrics, I put a definition, I got off the internet. I believe Wikipedia was my source here, but psychometrics is the field of study concerned with the theory and technique of psychological measurement. Okay, defined by the U.S. National Council of Measurement Education, psychometrics refer to the psychological measurement. What does that all that mean? All that means is that you now have this word now says, look, when you take an exam, here's my layman terms. When you take an exam, how do I know that the question's too hard? How do I know the question's too easy? How can you find that nice point where it's a fair question? It's a great question. Not too many people are passing it, making it too easy. Not too many people are failing it, most likely because it was maybe confusing. Maybe there's language barriers, right? Because remember, we have to deal with multiple languages around the world, and not everyone speaks English, not everyone speaks Spanish, or German. And so you have to use words that are not confusing, right? And so that all of a sudden the question becomes bad, even though it's a good question, because you're using the wrong words even. So there's so much that goes into these statistics. Why do we care? Well, we care because, our program is based off of IEC or ISO 17024. That is the standard on personnel competency. Within that standard, you can see, I just picked out 3 points that they actually talk about psychometrics. And in today's day and age, these programs, because they're becoming so common, we need to start differentiating so that they don't all get meshed together, and we can share those differences so people don't go in expecting one thing, coming out with a different result, and getting this really expensive piece of paper. And in reality, all they did was take a training and pass an exam, right? And so it's those things. It's these types of webinars that we're really trying to let people know what goes into each one. And it's also it's great for you to now start asking questions, because really, if you're going to put these initials after your name, you're branding yourself. So what you want to be branded with, you need to make sure it's what you want to be associated with as well. And I think that, for me as a person, you work tirelessly, you give up family time, you give up vacations, and you come to work. And I want to brand myself the best that I can, and so that's kind of why this all matters, at least to me. And so you can see 3 points in here why psychometrics matter, and what they require you to do if you're operating truly to 17024. Here's a quick description, or not description, sorry. Here's a quick example as to some things that go on behind the scenes here with our program. All right. I tried to make this seem pretty, I tried a visual, and then I wrote it down as well. But really what this table is saying is, if you look at, I hope you can see my cursor here. What you look at over here, this is who received a question, okay? And then how did they do on the exam? We don't care if they got it right or wrong, but a question that was given to them, and then how many times. So in this snippet of sample for this question 913, right? Every question has a unique identifier, so we can keep track of things. Nobody failed by 0 to 25% on their exam. All right, 6 people that have had this question got an exam score of this. 48 people got an exam score with this question, and they scored this. 84 people got this question, and they got an exam score of this, which is the passing one, right? And then over here, this is of those same people that scored these ranges on their exam, did they get it right or wrong? Okay, so now I'll come down here real quick. So you can see here that, and this is the written part, 6 times it was given to a candidate that had passed and scored this percent on their exam. 48 times it was given, and 84 times it was given of people that got these scores, right? What does that mean? In summary, 5 out of 6 people, 83% of people answered it correctly, even though their overall score was below a 60%. 42 out of 48, 88%. So you can obviously you can see that it's increasing, because as you go through the different categories, the people are becoming more and more competent, right? So 88% of people answered it correctly, 42 out of 48. And then 70 to 84, 93% of people answered correctly in category 4, which is right here, which these are all the people that did pass the exam anyways. When we see this kind of question, this is borderline too easy, okay? Because why? Even people that really didn't do too well, or their competency was rather on the low end, they still were able to successfully, 5 out of 6, successfully answer this question. So for us, this is a type of question that would become what we call retired. You might see this kind of question maybe in a study guide, or used as a secondary source, or maybe on a practice exam. This type of question would pop up. And so that's what you're looking for in psychometrics, is you're trying to find and do the analysis of a question that is not too easy or not too hard. This is a kind of one that, hey, it's a little bit too easy, but a question like this would absolutely show up on our certificate exams, like the FSP, the Functional Safety Practitioner, or the Cybersecurity Practitioner. This is a great question, because that will help people build their confidence that they are starting to understand the material, because you can have easier questions on those type of exams, because you're not calling them an expert, or at least in my opinion, you shouldn't be calling someone an expert if they're in a certificate type of program. So I hope that was one of the main things that I wanted to try and get across. The measurement, when you see this type of wording on a standard, right, and you're trying to follow and separate yourself from a certificate and certification company, how do you create a good how do you, without being biased, saying, oh, of course that's an easy question. I mean, I could answer that without any knowledge. How do you do that and be unbiased? And that's what psychometrics is all about, is an unbiased opinion or an unbiased analysis on whether or not something's too easy or too hard. So now all of a sudden we step out of the equation, or the graders or the exam creators, right? We're now stepping out and we're letting the numbers talk. And we're letting the numbers talk in the sense that now whoever takes this exam or takes this question on this example, they now dictate if it's too hard or too easy. What do we do about this? Is we take all those questions that are too hard, not the too easy ones. We don't worry about those. We take the ones that are too hard, and now you have something that you're focusing your energy towards. Now you have something that, hey, let's beef up some material. It looks like the industry is having a harder time learning about these concepts. Or maybe it truly is a question, just worded weird, right? And we'll just throw that question out. But it's so nice and refreshing that you can take these statistics and learn how the industry sees things. And when they start missing all these questions, hey, guess what? This is a great webinar topic. Hey, guess what? This is something we should beef up this area of our training. Or hey, maybe we should be going slower on these little subject areas. And it's fascinating how, even because of these exams, how we can start basing our consulting, our certifications, our personal trainings, how we can start enhancing those and how they've become more effective for people. Right. So that's the other thing that we're talking about. When we have these certificate programs, which we do as well, as long as all the other companies that are out there, we now are able to beef up our trainings to help people get more out of the trainings, if that makes sense. So that's another thing that happens from these metrics. One last topic that I wanted to talk about today was how we are raising the bar again with the CFSE and CACE programs. And there's going to be a lot of people, especially that with the attendance that I see here, that are going to have a big sigh of relief. And why? It's because there have been so many things going on. The program has been moving so fast. We're now focusing on execution. Execution is key, and this initiative couldn't have come at a better time with the circumstances going on, even with something like the coronavirus, where travel is becoming harder, where people's time is more valuable, where people don't want to become quarantined because I want to go take an exam that's not located within their town, their city, and they're going to have to get on a plane, right? And so the first one I want to talk about is automatic details for missed questions. What does that initiative mean? What we're doing this year, we are now creating a system that will allow a test taker, when they take this exam, pass or fail. It's more important to the people that fail. We're now going to create a system that will automatically give people feedback. Right now we have a program that is called a third grader, but this is something that every candidate will now be able to receive details for missed questions. And it'll be more based around the topics and understanding of, hey, by the way, did you realize that in your exam you had 10 questions that you missed because it was all based around architecture and redundancy, or you missed 6 questions and they were all based around proof testing. Now the value there that we didn't have before is people will start understanding, instead of just having a grade, hey, I now have topics that I can focus on to be that better person. The other thing, though, that I want to mention is we get a lot of people that come back and saying, hey, I failed. Why did I fail? It's a tough one, because we do want to help those people. But remember what this program is built around. This program is to find out and to get those experts and to get those mentors. So if we have a program that essentially creates, okay, here's what you missed, here are the questions you missed, study these things and you can become an expert. Are people really an expert because they just figured out how to pass an exam? We're looking for people. I got a great example actually this morning. We're looking for those people that they crave functional safety, that they want the world to be a better place, that they want it to be more secure in cybersecurity. We want the people like that Peloton commercial where, it's all about, you know, you're a busy person, you have a full-time job, but yet you have this passion to get in shape, or you have a passion to cycle, right? And you want to be better, you know, and the question becomes, are you that 4 a.m. person? Are you that person that wants to improve our industry and get us to the next level? If you're that person that wants to lead people and be that mentor, that's you. That's the CFSE program. That's the CACE program. That are the people we're looking for. We're not looking for people that fail an exam and just want to figure out how to pass it. We're truly looking for the people that want this and want more. And if you don't want more, then the certificate program is where you should be sitting. And that's nothing, and that's fine. That's great. And that's the hard part, is because we feel horrible when someone fails an exam and truly wants to pass. We just need that confidence, and we need that reassurance that that person's willing to do what it takes to then start leading other people, instead of just trying to figure out how to pass an exam. I hope that makes sense. And then the other thing that has been kind of an Achilles, our pain, is that we have so many great people out there that just are so busy they're not able to travel somewhere to take this exam. Guess what? These exams, where there's a lot of work to be done, it's already in progress. We've talked to the advisory board. We're moving forward with online CFSE CAC exams. Don't ask to take it yet. Keep moving forward. Don't delay. But yes, we are going to move towards an online exam, especially where we've actually doubled and tripled the effort with the current epidemic going on with that coronavirus. There's people, we are canceling exams. Nobody can travel anymore. So we're trying to bring this to your home. And then this is just, it just couldn't have come at a better time for people that don't want to delay their careers. So yes, it will be coming on an exam. I say it's semi-automatic grading system. Why? Because as everyone knows how this exam works, there's a lot that need that personal feel. All right. So yeah, we're going to have the multiple choice automatic graded because it's going to be online. But all those short answers, those case studies, if people have questions on the multiple choice, we're still going to go back and review every single question with a grader. However, we'll have some of it pre-graded for us. We'll just go back and we're going to put that personal touch on it and say, hey, look, do these people understand the concepts? Did they get that question right because it was, or did they answer it correctly because this is how they interpreted the question, right? So there's going to still be that feel. But the grading process is going to be cut in half. You're going to be able to take the exam from your own home or whatever the location is of this exam. And then finally, the robust grading for third grading. We're slightly changing how we're even doing the third gradings because we are going to focus more on giving people automatic details of questions they missed. These third-party reviews, we've already done a handful of them to see how they're working, is they're going to have more of a human feel. So instead of you getting a sheet showing here are the areas to learn to do better, it's now going to come along with reference points saying, okay, of the questions that you miss, here are the sections in the standards that you should be focusing more on. Here's more reference books, and hey, in chapter 17 of this publication, this is a chapter for you to read to start understanding these concepts, because this is something that could be lacking. And it could even come with, remember, these are initiatives, these aren't set in stone just yet, but just letting you know, since you're on this webinar with me, that these are things that are going on. And the last part of that robust third grader is that we are going to do more third gradings where we're going to have a CFSE or a CAC on the line with you and kind of explain a little bit more around those topics, explain those topics, and allow you to ask questions, things that you might think are correct. In reality, it's slightly differently, because we all know that these standards are performance-based and not prescriptive. And when it's a performance-based standard, you know, there is some open end, there is some ability to do a process differently to get to the same end result, and so that's why there is always room for discussion and justification and clarification to provide your evidence. I hope you enjoyed today's webinar. I'm going to answer all the questions here in one moment, and I hope you found value out of this. I'm really excited. This is going to be a great year for everyone. We do have trainings. If you're interested, whether it's in functional safety, alarm management, or cybersecurity, Like I said, this will be recorded, so you can flip back to this and maybe even screenshot this. I don't know, so that you can have those. They're all located on our website at that address below. Once again, we're focusing hard with online courses to try and bring this to you. And you can see we have a handful, and we're actually releasing another one. We're getting it recorded next month for another cybersecurity training, so that's very exciting. We're trying to get these out as fast as we can. So let's go ahead and open up the questions, and I thank everyone. Let's see what people asked. All right. Will the CFSP exam also be offered online? Yes. Oh, I should have specified that. Thanks for the clarification. Yeah, so CFSP, CFSE, CACS, and CACE. A lot of acronyms, but basically it means any functional safety exam and any cybersecurity exam will be now offered online. For me, that's a red flag that I said that out loud because it's not yet released. It's very close. So I don't want you to, to delay signing up for all of these courses because they will be going online. I want you to keep moving forward. Don't delay because, oh, Ted Stewart told me in 2020 I could take this online, so that's why I did this. That's my disclaimer. But no, it is coming. It's coming as fast as are humanly possible, are humanly capable bandwidth allows us. We're working extremely hard. So yes, that will be online. That's my short answer. Yes. Next question. Why do some certificate programs allowed to be called an expert? What do you mean? Oh, let me go back a couple slides. I think I know what you mean. When we go back here, what's a good one? I don't know. This is probably fine. So you'll see here that there are some certificate programs that will call you an expert. Take it for what you will. My biggest thing is if you like a trainer, if you see someone doing a great job, or if you like an industry or a company and you think they're doing a great job, I only ask that you ask questions to make sure you just know what you're signing up for, right? And you're branding yourself with the brand that you want. Ask them, what do they do for psychometrics? Ask them, hey, is the training class mandatory? Hey, what is this, if I pass the exam, what kind of accolade do I get? And just do your own small homework. Of course, I can give you all the cheat sheets you want in the world because I've already done all this research, and I will if you want to email me, but I like people to do their own, right? I want you to make your own decision. And I want you to have that good feeling because you're ultimately the one that's putting your name next to these companies and these programs. So I want you to have the expectations that you feel you deserve. I hope that answers that question. Oh, got some more questions here. All right. Is there an intention to publish certifications or on platforms such as Acclaim? Arvin, we only publish our stuff. So we have certificate holders, we have FSP people. So anyone that passes a certificate or certification, we make that known to everybody. That way, just in case there were counterfeit certificates or someone claiming to be certified and they weren't, we can then provide that evidence for you. We will not publish other people's only for the sake of courtesy, right? We don't want to bash anyone. We don't want to speak negatively. We think everybody has the right intentions. However, I feel some of these intentions are misleading. And so that we just want more clarity. And I hope that answered your question, but that's why we do what we do. When will the functional safety management book be published? George, I'll speak with the author. And I'll send you a message on that. I believe I have your email if you put it when you sign up for this webinar, but I'll send that to you. I do not know, but I know it's very close. Any other questions? All right. Well, look, it was a pleasure. I appreciate it. I hope you got some valuable information out of this. It will be recorded. I'll be doing this again in a few hours live. And yeah, so thanks so much. Have a great day, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.